So like Dr. Turner said, my name is Maddy. I am a sophomore here at CSU. I'm from Florence, South Carolina, so CSU, Charleston itself is a big change of pace for us. But I am, like he also said, I'm a campus ambassador, so I give tours, I run those events, we give tours, we engage with the students, we really try to not sell them on CSU. We believe that, God does that. We believe our job is to share, why we love CSU, what makes CSU so different, and shine that light like Dr. Turner was saying, and, let God do the rest. But like Josh, my story was also a very, very, very unlikely one. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, and they all went to different colleges. So I had 3 people who very well know me and said, this is exactly where you're supposed to go. And I decided to listen to none of them, and I went a completely different direction. But my major is also math, and so what you should know about that, what you should know about me is that I am an avid planner. I love to have every detail mapped out to the minute, exactly where I was going to go. And so my senior year of college, I walked in and I said, I have no idea where I want to go. I have no idea what I want to do with my life. And that made me very uneasy. I knew that God had a plan for me, but I had no idea what that was. And I was lucky enough to have a youth leader at the time, and she told me some very nice advice. She said, Maddy, you're smart. Why don't you pray that God would reveal his will for you through the financial aid process? And that's exactly what I did. That became my prayer throughout the entirety of senior year. And I gradually saw God close a lot of doors I thought were going to be open. I applied to CSU on a whim, quite honestly. I was just like, oh, this sounds nice, why not? And I ended up getting a scholarship interview. And so I went to it because I was like, okay, God, I'll do this, we'll see, you never know. And I walked in, and this interview was going okay, and then we got to the last question. Now, my most dreaded question anybody can ever ask me is, why should we give you this scholarship? Or why should we give you this job? And I normally despise answering that question. But this time I had a really, really honest answer. I said that do what God's leading you to do. I said, if this is not in my hands anymore, I'm very thankful that now you get to follow where God's leading you. It's out of my hands. And I was fortunate enough to get a call about 2 weeks later on a Wednesday, and she said, congrats, you got the scholarship. And I think most of us in this room can remember a time, where something that you had been praying for, something that you had been working towards, and God just gave you clarity on that you just saw all of the things that you had been praying for, that you've been wishing, that you had been talking to God about, just come to fruition in your life. And that was by far the most clarity, the most close, the most thankful I'd ever been. That we have such a creator that cares about us, that is intentional enough, that plans our steps so I don't have to, and brings us, places that, we didn't even think that we were going to be. So I managed to get to CSU in fall of 2020. It was a very uncertain time for most of us. And I figured out where I was going to go, but I still had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. So I came in as a math major. I was going to be a meteorologist, actually. Didn't know why. I was just going to do that. And one of the things we say here is that your purpose is our mission, and I didn't really understand that at the time. But I was lucky enough to have a professor that did. I didn't finish a calculus assignment one time, so don't tell my parents. It was one time. We got over it. But my professor emailed me. He said, no pressure, but is everything okay? Is there any way that I can be praying for you? How are you adjusting to college? What can I do? And I told him, I said, I have no idea what I want to do with my life. And quite honestly, I don't know why I'm here. And he sent me this long paragraph back. And he quoted Psalm 90, actually, which the whole thing is great. But especially he focused in on the phrasing work of our hands. Because the last verses of it says, establish the work of our hands for us. Yes, Lord, establish the work of our hands. He told me that he always knew that doing and teaching math was what he was supposed to do, but he thinks the real work of his hands, the real purpose of his life is doing that here, where he gets to share his faith and have a bigger impact once in a while. He said, and I quote, most of you won't remember anything about multivariable calculus in 10 years, but hopefully something that's more meaningful will stick with you. And that just rings true to me in every aspect of what CSU does. It's about academics, but it's about so much more. It's about evangelism, it's about discipleship, it's about faith, it's about family. Yes, it's about academics and education, but it's also about passion. And most importantly, it's about God. It's about teaching people how to live now and how to establish their purpose, how to do that. But it's also about teaching them how to live forever, how to get to Jesus, how to be close to Jesus every single day of their lives. And so I'm so thankful that I could not have gotten myself here, and I would never have known all the ways that CSU would give back to me, all the ways that I would grow here. But I'm so thankful that God gave me so much more than I could have ever asked or imagined, and brought me here. So I just want to thank you all for your obedience on God's call in your life. I truly believe that none of us are here by accident, that we're all here together to help us further the kingdom. So thank you all so much. If there's anything that we could ever do to help you, please, please, please let us know. And yeah, go Bucks!